Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. All right, guys, this week's kind of been all about the first part of our unit on circles. We got into different terminology for parts of circles, equations of circles, arc measure, arc length. One of the different portions of a circle we defined was a sector. A sector is a proportion of the total area of a circle. A sector is closed in by two different radii of the circle and an arc of the circle itself. What I want to focus on today is how to find the area of a sector of a circle, keeping in mind that it's just a portion of the total area, and we can use those same proportions from yesterday to find that missing area. Since a sector is a portion of the circle's total area, how do you find the area of a circle? What formula gives area of a circle? Pi times r squared. That gives you the area of the full thing, the entire circle itself. I want just some portion of it, so let's set up a proportion to do so. You didn't know the area formula for a circle? It's also on your formula sheet in that top left corner where it says circle area. A equals pi r squared up on a television screen. So let's make a proportion. Let's first figure out what part of the circle my sector represents. How many degrees are in a full circle? Right? So my sector is everything but that right angle. So how many degrees does my sector represent? Yeah, everything but the 90.
Oh, 270.
Yeah, I've got this shaded region as my sector. What's unshaded is given by 90 degrees, so what's left over for the arc measure of the sector? Everything but 90 would give me how many degrees? 270. So 270 is to 360. If we had the full circle, what would its area be? Well, I know the radius is 12, and I have a formula to find the area of a circle. The area of this circle would be pi times 12 squared. Simplify that in terms of pi. Shaylee, what's 12 squared? 144. So the area of this circle is 144, 12 squared, times pi. If I had the full circle, all 360 degrees worth, the area would be 144 pi. So what if I just have 270? What's that sector and its area going to be? There's our proportion. We set up proportions very similar to this yesterday, but we were finding lengths instead of area. We were using a different formula, 2 pi times the radius instead of pi r squared. All right, so I think this is going to be a little bit easier to cross multiply and solve if I reduce this ratio first. What is 270 out of 360 reduced down to? 3/4. Reduce to 4, as our sector area is to the total area of 144. That should make sense. Aren't we just going to try and find 3/4 of the total area of the entire circle itself? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were finding not.
No, that's why I said 270, Parker. What's not shaded is 90 degrees. I want everything else for the sector that has been shaded. So for the full circle, 360 degrees, my sector represents 270 degrees of it. Let's start cross multiplying. 4 times x, 3 times 144. A little help here, Macy. What's 3 times 144? I saw you had a calculator there, so I wanted some help. What's that? I'm sorry, say it one more time.
432.
So 432. Now just divide by 4. I think we should have our sector area all put together. Finish up, Macy. What's 432 divided by 4?
108.
108. Yes, it is. Now the label will be what? Not meters though, Parker. It's an area, so it's a square meter. A square meter. Worked out pretty nice. Let's try a different one. Same sort of question. Find the area of the shaded sector of the circle. That portion of the circle that's closed in by the two radii and the arc on the right. We've got a couple of labeled values. The sector represents 60 degrees of the circle. And that 4-inch length, what do you think? Is that going to be the radius or the diameter? Diameter. So if the diameter is 4, what's the radius? 2. You can just make note of that, ladies. Okay, down in the middle of something? Thanks. Thanks, Max. All right, so once again, let's get the proportion set up. How many degrees of the circle do I have for my sector? What part does it represent? 60 of a total of 360. 60 is to 360 as 1 is to 1. If I had the full circle, what would its area be? 4 pi. Because the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. Since our radius is 2, pi times 2 squared is 4. The full circle with area of 4 pi, what part with 60 degrees be worth? Take a minute, let's reduce this down. What is 60 divided by 360 reduced down to as a fraction? What do you think, Dylan?
10 to 6.
Okay, you can take the zeros off, but 6 over 36 can still be reduced. What do you think, Dylan? What does that fraction simplify to? 6. I'd much rather cross multiply after I reduce this down. Probably a lot easier. Now let's just put it all together. 6 times x, 1 times 4 pi. What's next, Helen? I'm left with 6x equals 4 pi. X represents the sector area I'm trying to solve for. So get rid of this extra 6. Okay. So that gets me to here. 4 pi over 6. Can that be reduced down?
Yeah.
What is 4/6 reduced down? Let's just do this in terms of pi.
2/3.
So it's 2 pi over 3. I'll leave it. 2 pi over 3 looks great. What would that label be though? Inches what? Square inches. Okay, let's get some good practice out and kind of round out the week. Do you have that same packet